the U.S. air campaign in September and October of that year, and it led to the Dayton peace talks, and that's where the peace was made. So this was a significant event in the history of Europe.
David Rohde, as somebody who, as a reporter who covered that war, what would you add?
I would just say, in a sense, this is the largest largest war crimes verdict in Europe since the Nuremberg trials. Karadzic is the highest level civilian official who will face justice, who has faced justice. Slobodan Milosevic, the former president of Serbia, would have been, but he died in captivity. So it's an enormous verdict. I was here in New York today, and by chance, the hostess at a restaurant I was at, it was a Bosnian American, a Bosnian Muslim, and she burst into tears, talking about the fact that this verdict had come down and he had been convicted of genocide.
And David Rohde, staying with you, you cover that war. I mean, what does it mean to you as somebody who saw much of this on the ground?
Well, it's accountability. I mean, there was a sense for years as the war dragged on, as Nick said, 100,000 people were killed, and NATO and the UN kept, and the international community said they were going to act, but they did not act, and there was a sense that emboldened the Bosnian Serbs to do this. And the real tragedy of Srebrenica, the town itself, it wasn't simply that the world didn't act. Srebrenica was declared a United Nations protected safe area. UN peacekeepers went in and they actually took away the heavier weapons that Bosnian Muslims in this surrounded town of Srebrenica had, and they promised that the UN and NATO would protect them. The Bosnian Muslims with less weaponry then weren't protected. The town was overrun, and again, 8,000 men and boys systematically executed.
Nicholas Burns, why does it matter that almost a quarter of a century later, someone like Radovan Karadzic is held accountable?
Well, Judy, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. That's what Martin Luther King said. And he obviously was right. Justice has been done here. This was genocide against an entire people, against a Muslim population, and it took 21 very painful, very frustrating long years for justice to work, but it has. And so this War Crimes Tribunal is very important, as has been the War Crimes Tribunal in Rwanda, where there was a genocide as well the year before. And we, in positions of power, the United States and other countries, have to see justice as a very important priority for us, and have to see peace as an important priority. So I think it's very important that these efforts continue and that the United States continue to support them.
David Rohde, how, looking back, does